Hello everybody, my name is Petr Koutný. Today I have for you another brilliant chess game, and why not to watch this game till end, because you will see amazing and really complicated middle game, at the end beautiful end game, and a nice victory of David Navara, who used to be one of the strongest Czech chess player in chess history. And I hope that you don't mind to watch this game, because you will see nice ideas, beautiful fight, and at the end good chess game. So let's begin, let's enjoy, and let's watch this game till end. Nothing special. I think that we are following opening lines, of course, of two strong grandmasters, and both players know what they are doing. Anyway, this game was played on 2015, so it's not a young game but not too old, and Queen b3 happened. That's a good move, and of course black has to prove his small slight disadvantage. I don't mean proof, I mean that black has to set up his position and to be ready for a fight. So e6, okay, why not? c4, b6, and both players are trying to bring their pieces back to game. What will be interesting is this time where black's king is thinking where to go, to long castle or short castle, and I believe that a long castle after move b6 is a little bit dangerous, and you will see that I am right in the future. So a4, and David Navara is immediately attacking this pawn formation. That's a typical chess plan against this pawns setup. a4, a5 against the pawn on b6, and bishop b7. Black is doing like nothing happened, because he's going to bring his bishop to b7, a5, and f6. Okay, maybe black is building wall against this bishop on b2, who is really unpleasant to black's position. Let's come back, because maybe to take a pawn on a5, that's a question. Why black is not taking this pawn on a5? And the answer is because of bishop c3, and this is a typical advantage when you are going to break a pawn formation, because at the end black pawn on a7 and c5 remain weak. Maybe could be big weaknesses in endgame, and that's exactly what white is looking for. So black has to be careful, and yes, we are watching a nice positional game, and black played, as we saw, move f6, and now bishop d6. Queen c2 is a good move, because now black has to decide what to do. I think that unpleasant move is bishop e4, because bishop on b7, I'm speaking about black's bishop on b7, is one of the best black pieces, and makes sense to exchange him immediately, then to be late. So black played f5, but he did something else. Now watch this bishop, and this bishop is getting even stronger and stronger, and doing a good job. Don't know if now is good time to take on g7, but maybe it's good time to follow this variation, because in case of bishop g7 there is a rook g8, and of course maybe a rook g2, a really unclear position, still super strong. Black's light squares bishop, and unclear for me, maybe unclear for you, and unclear for everybody. I think that it was unclear for David and Jan as well, because David was not taking on g7 immediately and played knight g5. That's a nice move, because of what we know, hopefully from chess books, that we have to attack opponent weaknesses. Yes, of course, at the other side, everybody knows that we have to go for a long or short castle as soon as possible, and now that's a different story, because both players are not hurry for castling position, and they are going to attack each other. That's a beautiful positional game where we know rules. we have to follow rules, but sometimes the best move is to break a rule. So now, okay, white is playing twice with knight, attacking pawn on e7, and black is playing knight f8, defending pawn on e6. So everybody is breaking rules, and f4. That's a question. Now, why black is not taking pawn on g7? So it's a good time to find the answer, and the answer is, of course, rook g1. Now, to take on b6, say like this, and knight f7 seems to me like a danger move. Of course, this rook is doing a good job, and a big pressure to g7. And for example, to take this knight, it's not healthy at all, because that's a bad position. At the end, it's not a bad position because it's nearly checkmate. So this position is full of energy, and both players has to be careful, because it's not hard to make a mistake, and it's not hard to play a blunder. For this reason, knight f8 and f4, it was a good move, waiting for black answers. But of course, Nepomniachtchi is a strong grandmaster, and he saw this variation as dangerous to him, and he played move h6. Why not? And now knight g6, h4. So still g7 used to be a weak pawn, and white is attacking knight on g6. I think that that's another typical move, because knight on g6 and b6 are usually good to attack by h or a pawns. So h4 with a threat h5. Long castle happened, but what's happened if h5? Black is going to play, and by move h5, black is losing square g5. And make a sense to go there right now. Now to take on b6, take on a8, and now maybe to take on g7. Why? Because here is a check on a4, of course, and here is hanging piece on a8. Yes, looks like this game is not such amazing like games of Michal Tal, but it's full of beautiful ideas and beautiful variations, threats and hidden variations. So that's a reason why black has to be careful, and he is careful, but he played long castle. Long castle, it's a brave decision. It's a brave, maybe it's not the best, but it's interesting, of course. What is good? If you are going for attack, you have to open position, and for this reason, white took on b6 and open a file, and now he's going to sack a piece on f5. It's not exactly a sack, but it's exactly beginning of a really interesting and tactical variation. Because, say, I'm taking on f5 because I don't believe that white saw everything, but check on a check on f5. Of course, black has to take knight on g6. Now is coming counter sack on f4. And yes, it's really hard to see this variation and to evaluate this variation as a loss for black. Why? Even this check, it's not a danger, because that's only one check, and black's queen together with rook on a1 is working really hard against black's king on c8, and maybe rook d6, queen e4, and don't be surprised that not white's king is in a big danger, because black's king is in a bigger danger and probably is going to be checkmated. So that's a variation what has to be seen before you are going to decide what to play. And well done to Nepomniachtchi, who saw this variation. Okay, let's come back, because what we remember, opening a file and now sack on f5. So Jan was careful and played bishop e4. Okay, he took on f4. Sorry, I missed one move, but not big different. Sack against sack, and beautiful position. So why not to take knight on f4? That's a question, and we have to find the answer before we are going to move forward. So this is not the best move, because after this exchange, maybe white's king, it's not safe, and black's two dangerous bishops, and rook coming soon or later to f8. All this is giving black a good compensation for missing pawn. Danger position, and nobody likes a danger. Everybody likes safety first, and okay, slight edge, but that's another story. So David played bishop e4, and I understand why. He is going to exchange the most danger black piece, and of course a really important defender of black's king. So this is a defending and attacking move, and it's a question of what to play. For example, to take on g2, check. It's a losing knight immediately, because this knight is trapped and there is no more moves for this knight. So even black has to be careful, and I can imagine that this game has to be really hard to play. You know, you have to be careful in every move, and you have to check all threats, hidden variations, and this is a beautiful fight. So okay, white took it on e4, check on d3, and it's bad to take this knight, because of check on g3, and white's queen on d3 is hanging. It's not hanging, it's lost. So there was another beautiful shot, check on d3, and it's a question why this bishop is not hanging. Okay, right, the best move, it was to go to e2, black took it on b2, and his piece up. But yes, for sure, it's very hard to save this knight on b2, and we have another chance to see another variation. So hopefully you don't mind to follow this variation. What's happened if black is taking on c4, so there's a check on e6, and now on c4, and after d4, black's king is the major reason why black is losing. Yes, king safeness is one of the most important chess rule, and if, for example, we have advantage but bad king, everything should be changed in the future, because the king has to be safe. If we are losing king, we are losing our game. Okay, another variation should be knight d3, but check on e6, and now again beautiful and brave move is giving us this variation, because king should take knight on a d3. Good. Okay, let's come back, because rook e8, and now white took it on b2. I think that white has safer king, good pieces, and I think that white clearly stands better. You know, after maybe complicated game, white's got advantage, and black's king is the biggest reason why I believe in white's position more than black's one. So a queen b7, queen exchange. I don't understand why to exchange queen if we are attacking, so that's a good move to come to b1, and bishop c7, rook a2, and rook a8, and here rook a7. Maybe this is a good variation for white. You know, white is going to exchange his two rooks for a queen, and he believes that his queen together with knight are stronger than two rooks and bishop. Okay, why not to go on knight e5, and it's a hard position with material imbalance, and the level of coordination of white's pieces usually giving white's advantage. That's a theory that, of course, usually better coordinating pieces are giving chance to believe in advantage, but still this game is it's really hard to believe who is playing for victory. You know, if I am playing with black pieces, I am losing. If I am playing with white pieces, I am losing. So who is stronger here? And still the fight is going on. Rook d8 and d3. Knight on e5 is doing a great job, and maybe that's the reason. I mean, the difference between knight and bishop, why white is playing for victory up to me. So rook f8 and now g4. Chance is there to go queen h1, a8, and maybe to win a material. Hard position. Just imagine that, of course, both players are in the time trouble. So fast decision, not make a mistake, and maybe to play sharp and for victory. Bishop e8, b8, and now h5. I'm sure that this move is going to help white, because white is going to open a position, and still watch how good job is doing this knight for white on e5. Yes, maybe black's two rooks should be danger to white, but they are not working together. They are not making any threats to white's position, and because of this, still white is trying to increase his pressure and his advantage. So rook f5 makes sense, and knight g6, not bad. I think even stronger was queen e4. Say variation when black is taking on h5, it's knight f7, and for example queen c6, and white's two last pieces are going closely and closely to black's king, and it's not exactly clear if black is not losing immediately here. Even black is taking pawn here, check on e8, take on d8, and check on c6, b6, and c5. Surely this position is one for white. Okay, a long variation, but let's come back. What we saw: took on h5, rook f5, knight g6, and queen e4. Yes, that was a brilliant queen maneuver, where queen is going to center via h1, e4, and still I believe that white's pieces are really well coordinated and doing a good job, and still black has difficulties to find a good job for his rooks and bishop. So rook f6 and knight e7, a queen h7. That's a really hungry queen, and of course the threat maybe is to go to g8 and c8. Don't worry, black is under pressure, and white is increasing his pressure against black's king and black's position. So rook f7, knight g6, e5. Thank you very much for a pawn, knight g6, and knight f4. Maybe stronger was e4, but okay, why not to play knight a4, and the losing mistake is king b7. In a dangerous position, it's not hard to make a blunder, so queen f5, e4, b5, and knight d5. Beautiful knight on d5, and of course that's a winning knight on d5, and I have the feeling that white is winning not because of surprise, but white is winning because of his pieces. He did a good job with his pieces, and he did all best to find the best squares for his pieces, the best job for his pieces, and he is winning, of course, because of strong e4 pawn, maybe h5 pawn, it's not weak, and altogether with black's king weaknesses, I think that now is nearly easy victory. So push the pass pawn, why not, and now maybe not really interesting but not bad endgame. This is the simple way how to win the game, because check on f7, and of course this endgame is a won for white, because he is going to take pawn on g7 and winning game. So that was a beautiful game and beautiful positional game of David Navara, and I think that it was a good game to remember, to follow, to watch, and to know. If you agree with me, feel free and press like or press follow and made my day. Hopefully I'm going to see you soon in our another YouTube chess video. Thank you, bye bye.